Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sin and Tonic. Today's story is that of JonBenet Ramsey, specifically the timing of the ransom note. Let's go. Sin and Tonic! As you can hear in my voice, I have caught the lurgy. I've caught the kids' germs. They go back to school in January and it just wipes everyone out. So excuse me. But I thought today would be a good opportunity to write out the ransom note because it will save my voice. And also, so in last week's video I was saying that the FBI did an experiment and it took them 22 minutes to write the ransom note, copy it. So they argue that that's a really long time to be in the house writing a ransom note, blah, blah, blah. And it is the longest ransom note in the history of the FBI, so it is, weird. A lovely subscriber in the comments pointed out that that is a really long time to take to write the letter. She called BS. Now, it made me think, they say they did that experiment, but I want to do it myself now. It made me intrigued. How long would it take to write that? Obviously, we have to discount thinking time because we're just copying it out. I've got a fever, so I'm just getting a bit warm. Anyhow, where was I? I'm going to read you the ransom note, and then I am going to time myself writing the ransom note, and we will see what the results are. Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign fraction. We do respect your business, but not the country that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché, bag, to the bank. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an earlier delivery of the money, and hence an earlier pickup of your daughter. Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. Grim. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement, countermeasures and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions and you stand a 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as the authorities. Is that scrutiny? Looks like it. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC. Wow, there you go. That is the infamous ransom note. I need to go and take a Lemsip, and I will do that, and then I'm going to get writing. So I'm just going to film myself writing. I'm going to see if I can find a Sharpie, only because it was written in a Sharpie, but I don't know how much that's going to matter. If not, a pencil, because doesn't the sound of a pencil sound really nice on paper? I love that, ASMR. Anyway, I think the act of writing it is like, I don't think having a Sharpie or a pencil is going to add any time. So, yeah. We'll see what we can do. But I'm intrigued now to see how long it's going to take. I actually hope it doesn't take me 22 minutes. But we'll see. Right. See you in a bit. So there we have it. That was 15 minutes. I've put my phone in my pocket and I'm comfortable, so I'm not getting it out. But that was about 15 minutes. I looked at the papers and I thought, right, I think that's going to take, I thought 10 minutes, But actually, I reckon it would have taken about 20 minutes, because by the end of that, I was like, my hand was hurting, so I was sort of rushing to get through. Also, if you notice, the handwriting remains quite consistent in the ransom note for whoever wrote it, and it stays quite neat, whereas mine got really messy because I was like rushing. So if you were trying to maintain your handwriting, it would have taken you longer. And sorry, I'm holding the camera, so I might be a bit wibbly wobbles. What else did I think? Obviously, I was like having to read it and then copy, but you would be having to think it and then write it. So I think that accounts for that. I reckon, yeah, between 15-20 minutes is probably a good shout for how long that actually did take. And there were the practice runs, weren't there? Also, while I was writing it, I just thought, imagine I've intruded. Imagine I've broken in and I'm going to take a child. I would only be comfortable writing that ransom note if I was 100% sure that I was not going to be walked in on. And how would the intruder know that? Like, someone could come back at any point. Some people think the intruder was in the house when the Ramseys went out. So I guess you would feel pretty safe that they're not going to come back. But still, that's quite brazen. And why write such a long rambling note? I also noticed as I was writing it that they talk about taking a large bag. They also talk about the possibility that they won't get JonBenet's remains back if she is murdered. Oh, bless me, that was a big one. It all sort of like sets the scene, almost in my mind. As I was, I don't know, I felt more connected to it as I was writing it. And it made me think, this is almost like somebody that is going to try and get the body out of the house in a large bag and then dispose of the remains, dispose of the body, come back, and also all of this without police presence, because they've said, we'll behead your child if there's police. So it all just sets it up really nicely, I think, for a cover-up to get the child's body out of the house and then dispose of the body and then, somewhere that she possibly would never have been found. They're just my musings on it today, but I'm going to call it a day because I feel really gross and grim and I've had enough of using my voice. So yeah, I think I'll chat more about the ransom note with you next week, as well as all the things that I said I was going to talk to you about last week. But yeah, I need to have a lem sip and go to bed. Okay, love you, miss you, really want to kiss you. See you next week when I don't sound like hell. Okay, love you, bye, be good.